دبي، واحدة من أكثر مدن العالم تألقاً.
Dubai likes to present itself as the playground of the region, the place where you can come and go to the beach and let loose.
حاكمها الشيخ محمد بن راشد آل مكتوم، واحد من أغنى قادة الدول في العالم.
Here's Sheikh Mohammed speaking with Her Majesty the Queen.
قبل 3 سنوات حاولت لطيفة ابنة الشيخ البالغة من العمر 32 عاماً الهروب من دبي وبدء حياة جديدة في الخارج، لكن ألقي القبض عليها.
Latifa was screaming and kicking. She was saying, shoot me here rather than take me back to UAE. That's the last time I've seen my friend.
لكن فريق برنامج بانوراما يستطيع أن يكشف الآن أن الشيخ لطيفة بدأت بعد عام من اختفائها في تسجيل بعض رسائل الفيديو.
I'm hostage. I'm not free. I'm enslaved. I'm imprisoned in this jail. You know, like my life is not in my hands.
هذه تفاصيل قصة الشيخة الشابة لطيفة والروايات الكاذبة التي نقلت للعالم عنها.
I've been by myself, solitary confinement, no trial, no charge, nothing.
Latifa first contacted me end of 2010. She sent me an email saying, I need a female capoeira instructor to take classes privately. And then I realized who she was.
صديقة تينا يوهاينن الجديدة لم تكن امرأة إماراتية عادية. الشيخة لطيفة هي واحدة من 25 طفلاً من أبناء الشيخ محمد بن راشد آل مكتوم، حكيم دبي ونائب رئيس الإمارات العربية المتحدة.
Sheikh Mohammed tries to present himself as the enlightened, benevolent monarch. And indeed, to his credit, he has built a largely successful city. It is a place that attracts tourists. It attracts businesses where you can come and go to the beach and let loose. But behind that modern facade, there is no tolerance of dissent.
محمد بن راشد آل مكتوم ولي عهد دبي وسمو الشيخ حمدان بن راشد آل مكتوم.
There is an extremely old-fashioned view of particularly women.
Hello, my name is Latifa Al Maktoum. I was born on December 5.
في فبراير شباط 2018 سجلت لطيفة فيديو عن حياتها وعن خطتها للهروب.
So I'm not allowed to drive. I'm not allowed to travel or leave Dubai at all. I can't. I haven't left the country since 2000. I've been asking a lot just to go traveling, to study, to do anything normal. They don't let me. That's my life basically. It's very restricted. I need to leave.
جواز سفر لطيفة ليس في حوزتها، إذن هروبها لن يكون سهلاً. لذلك طلبت من تينا المساعدة.
I didn't hesitate. I would say, yes, of course. That would be a great adventure for both of us live together. It's only later on that I realized that it's going to be a very risky operation to get her out.
مع حلول فبراير شباط عام 2018 كانت خطة الهرب جاهزة.
I'm feeling positive about the future. I don't know how I'll feel just waking up in the morning and thinking, I can do whatever I want today. I can go wherever I want. I have all the choices in the world like anyone does. That'll be such a new, different feeling. That'll be amazing. I'm really looking forward to that.
تمكنت لطيفة وتينا من الخروج من دبي على متن يخت. كانت الخطة هي عبور المحيط الهندي ثم السفر جواً إلى الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية، حيث تسعى إلى طلب اللجوء. لكن عندما اقتربوا من الهند بدأت خطة الهروب في الانهيار.
Myself and Latifa, we felt tired. So around 10 o'clock in the evening, we decided to go down to our cabin to get some sleep. We started hearing noises from the upper deck, which sounded like gunshots. Basically, the boat was taken over by Indian special forces. Latifa was saying, oh my God, they're here. She continued screaming and kicking and trying to get away. And that's the last time I've seen my friend.
من لندن بدأت تينا تخبر العالم بما حدث.
I was taken to the front deck where I saw Latifa. She was lying on the floor and her hands were tied behind her back. And she was simply repeating, I'm seeking for political asylum, but they were not listening to her. So she was taken away, kicking and screaming.
تضافرت جهود تينا وديفيد هيغ الذي هو نفسه تعرض للسجن في دبي. تبنى الاثنان القضية وشكلا حملة لعرض قضية لطيفة أمام الأمم المتحدة.
They took the case, which we're very happy with, and since essentially April 2018, they've been investigating. We filed all the evidence, witness statements of Tina, and everybody was there and saw what had happened. Bits of that get transmitted to the UAE, and they're supposed to respond.
في غضون ذلك كان الشيخ محمد يتابع أنشطته الاجتماعية المتميزة، فبعد 3 أشهر من الاختطاف كان يحضر سباقات الخيل مع ابنة أخرى من بناته.
One of the remarkable things about this whole episode with Latifa's effort to escape is that, when she was initially kidnapped back, Sheikh Mohammed continued to lead a normal life. Somehow grabbing his daughter on the Indian Ocean and disappearing her wasn't enough to make him untouchable. And he proceeded to be welcomed by people around the world.
Here's Sheikh Mohammed speaking with Her Majesty the Queen.
Sheikh Mohammed has won the Derby. Godolphin, Sheikh Mohammed, sir, a great year for the boys in blue.
That's right. That's good. And my daughter today here, and she brought the luck.
There he is, smiling away, not a care in the world. He can turn up with another daughter like nothing is happening, meet the Queen, and no questions asked. That is extraordinary.
And great that His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum is on the podium.
That, in a sense, speaks to the blindness in the face of Gulf monarchy, our unwillingness to look too closely to what's going on, this, I think, unjustified deference to these social restrictions that exist in Dubai and other parts of the region.
أخيراً وبعد 9 أشهر من اختفائها ردت الإمارات العربية المتحدة على الأمم المتحدة وأصدرت صوراً للشيخة لطيفة مع ماري روبنسون المفوضة السامية السابقة لدى الأمم المتحدة لحقوق الإنسان.
I think you have to bear in mind that this is a troubled young woman who has a serious medical situation. This is a family matter now, and that she is in the care and loving care of her family.
I was visiting my family in Finland when I remember getting a message
مضى الآن عام منذ آخر مرة سمعت فيها تينا من لطيفة بعد أن تم إجلاؤها من القارب. وفجأة تواصلت معها سيدة غريبة وقالت إن لديها رسالة من لطيفة.
I understand that, Latifa was very, very scared and nervous about making this contact. So there were security questions, making 100% sure that it was me, such as me confirming her nickname, Capoeira nickname, and what she gave me as a birthday gift.
Tina called me and said, she'd had contact from someone and she thinks it's Latifa. Someone passed the message on, and of course I start with, no, it can't be true, it's a trap. But Tina got a little bit cross with me and she was like, I know my friend. I know it's her.
After some time, we decided it's time to take the next step. And we managed to get a phone to Latifa.
الآن باتت تينا على تواصل مباشر مع لطيفة.
I managed to get in contact with David Haig and Tina Yohiainen, and it was very dangerous and it took a long time. I'm doing this video from a bathroom because it's the only room with the door I can lock, and the door to my room I put, because I can't lock the door to my room, there's no key.
When I first time heard her voice, I was crying. It was just me completely bursting into tears. I couldn't help it.
What did she say to you?
She said that she was missing me and she was so happy to hear my voice. It was very, very emotional.
تتبعت تينا أحد أقرباء لطيفة، ماركوس، الذي يعرف لطيفة منذ الطفولة ويعيش الآن في بريطانيا. تينا رتبت لتواصلهما معاً.
Finding each other was just beautiful. I was given the phone, and I think I cried. I couldn't speak. I couldn't speak. Just knowing that she's alive, knowing that she's survived everything. So much to catch up on, so much to find out about each other, so much to say.
I was, of course, worried that she would get caught with the phone, but she wanted me to know in detail what had happened to her.
وبدأت لطيفة في تسجيل مقاطع فيديو على هاتفها كي توثق قصتها.
Today is April 2019, and the major news around the world is that I need to say it for authentication purposes, so you know that the video that I'm doing is made recently. So I'm in a villa. I'm a hostage, and this villa has been converted into a jail. All the windows are barred shut. I can't open any window. There's 5 policemen outside and 2 policewomen inside the house. And I can't even go outside to get any fresh air.
كانت لطيفة تحت حراسة 30 شرطياً يحرسون المكان على مدار الساعة في الداخل والخارج. لكن ما قالته كان مجرد تفاصيل غير واضحة عما يمكن أن تشاهده. وتحقق فريق بانوراما بشكل مستقل من تفاصيل المكان الذي تحتجز فيه لطيفة. هذا هو الموقع على بعد أمتار فقط من الشاطئ.
We shouldn't pretend that just because it's a villa that everything is fine. This woman's imprisoned and has no permitted contact with the world. You can imagine that this is psychologically devastating. It's basically solitary confinement except for her jailers. Nobody should be subjected to that. Solitary confinement of that sort is broadly considered to be a form of torture as it becomes prolonged the way this has been right now.
She's so pale. She hasn't seen daylight, sunlight for months. She can basically move just from her room to the kitchen and back. She was wearing the same T-shirt she had on the boat, so she was not allowed new clothes.
She was not getting the medical care, or she didn't have a toothbrush.
For how long did she not have a toothbrush?
Yes.
Today is April 2019. The major international news is I don't know when I'll be released and what the conditions will be like when I'm released. Every day I am worried about my safety and my life. Don't really know if I'm going to survive the situation. The police threatened me that I'll be in prison my whole life and I'll never see the sun again. So I'm not safe here.
الآن ولأول مرة تستطيع لطيفة الكشف عما حدث لها في تلك الليلة على ظهر القارب.
When they kidnapped me on March 4th, 2018, on this small boat, it was, I don't know how many commandos, maybe 12, 15, and the 2 Emirati, like lieutenant sergeants I was fighting. And this guy came with a small pouch, like a camouflage pouch, and he took out the needle and he injected me in my arm, and I was like fighting. I was saying, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. And I just assumed it was tranquilizers, but it didn't take any effect on me. But then I was like, okay, assess your situation. Your hands are tied. You have 2 guys sitting on you. You're on the bottom of a, like a small boat. So just calm down and like, there's no fighting at this point. So I just calmed down.
تقول لطيفة إنها نقلت بعد ذلك إلى سفينة عسكرية هندية.
The commandos carried me through this corridor and to a big room. And there was in front of me like maybe 4 or 5 generals. So I'm repeating to them. My name is Latifa Al-Maktoum. I want to go to Dubai. I want to get asylum. I was in international waters. You should let me go. Blah, blah, blah. Kept going. I did not stop. I kept going. I see a private jet in front of me. At that point, I said no. Like, I'm not going to voluntarily go.
تقول لطيفة إنها سلمت عنوة إلى واحد من أفراد القوات الخاصة الإماراتية.
He grabs me and he lifts me up. And I'm like kicking and fighting, and he's much bigger than me. So I see that his sleeve is rolled up and his arm is exposed. So I said, okay, you have 1 shot. So I just bite him as hard as I can and shake my head. And he screamed. The same guy tranquilized me again. They put me on a stretcher. And as they were carrying me up the steps of the private jet is when I passed out. Like, I lost consciousness. All I remember was the rocking and seeing the stairs, and then I just passed out. When I woke up, the private jet had already landed in Dubai. I just felt really sad at that point. Like, I felt everything I was, working on for so many years to get my freedom was gone. I've been here ever since. I've been by myself, solitary confinement, no access to medical help, no trial, no charge, nothing.
بعد 9 أشهر من عودة لطيفة إلى دبي، كانت الإمارات تواجه ضغطاً شديداً. فالأمم المتحدة بدأت تطلب أدلة على أن لطيفة لا تزال على قيد الحياة، وإلا ستنشر بياناً توضح فيه قلقها على لطيفة. زوجة الشيخ محمد، الأميرة هيا، زوجة الأب، تصبح طرفاً في القصة.
She's beautiful, she's sophisticated, she was an Olympian. She was a goodwill ambassador at the United Nations. She spoke at many conferences.
قامت الأميرة هيا بزيارة لطيفة.
So yeah, on December 6th is when Haya came. She said to me, I found you, like she didn't know where I was. She told me on December 14, would I join her the next day for lunch at her house? And she said to me it would be like a test to see how you will react around people after being in prison for so long. And if you act well, you react well, you're going to be out in a few days. Haya picked me up, we went to her house, and then she said, oh, I have invited some of my friends as well. Like, I hope you don't mind. No, I don't mind.
كان من بين هؤلاء الأصدقاء ماري روبنسون، المفوضة السامية السابقة للأمم المتحدة لحقوق الإنسان ورئيسة إيرلندا سابقاً، والتي لم تكشف من قبل عن تفاصيل القصة.
Haya began to explain that Latifa had quite a serious bipolar problem. She was worried that there was a stigma for people who are bipolar in the UAE.
هايا وماري كلتاهما وقعتا في مسلسل من الكذب الدقيق التفاصيل. فلطيفة لم تكن مريضة نفسية، لكن عرض عليهما دليلاً طبياً بشأن حالتها الصحية.
They were saying to me very kind of in a way that was very convincing, we don't want Latifa to go through any further trauma. She's been through enough trauma. We don't want her to go public. What are we going to do?
Haya introduced Mary, never said that she was a former UN head of human rights, never. If I knew that, of course, like I would have said everything, but no, she never told me that. The topics that we discussed during that lunch were sports, veganism, the environment, nothing outside from that. And Mary kept talking about her book as well. Like, we never discussed me, we never discussed my case.
Do you regret not asking her more directly about the video or about her situation?
I thought about it, and I suppose I'm not very familiar with people who are bipolar. I didn't know how to address somebody who was bipolar about their trauma, etc. I decided to give a pass on that. So, you know, I wanted to talk to her doctors, but I really didn't actually want to talk to her and increase the trauma over a nice lunch.
Like, I knew something was going on. Yeah, we were eating and everything. And then Haya, and she said to me, oh, this is such a nice lunch. I want to remember it. Will you all come into the living room to take a picture? And I kept saying to her, I don't really want to. Like, I was being polite. I wasn't saying in front of them, hey, I'm a hostage. I was sitting between her and Mary, and I looked at the camera, and my face was like, you know, like this, not smiling or anything. It was all a setup. It was like they tricked me.
I was aware the photograph was being taken because it was going to be part of how we would prove life, how we would prove that she was alive. I then said to them, look, I can write to the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Michelle Bachelet, and attach those photographs as proof of life. So I wasn't against the photograph. It was to be a private photograph.
بعد 9 أيام نشرت وزارة الخارجية الصور للعالم.
And I was particularly tricked when the photographs went public. Horribly tricked. I mean, that was a total surprise. I was absolutely stunned.
خدعت مفوضة سابقة لحقوق الإنسان لدى الأمم المتحدة. ولا شيء تغير بالنسبة للطيفة التي ظلت وحيدة في فيلا الشاطئ.
Then Haya dropped me off here, and I felt so bad, like going out from jail for a few hours and then coming back to this jailhouse. It was such a bad feeling.
I was misled initially by my good friend, Princess Haya, because she was misled. And then relatively shortly afterwards, I got a call from Haya saying, Mary, I am in London. I have just come to London with my 2 children. I have come in the clothes we were in. because I am so fearful. We were wrong. I have found out a lot.
The wife of Dubai's billionaire ruler has reportedly fled to London with her two children.
She's currently in hiding in London, allegedly in fear for her life.
Today is July 2019, and the major international news is that my stepmother is getting a divorce.
الآن زوجة الشيخ هربت مع طفليها، ومرة أخرى يمارس الشيخ حياته بطريقة طبيعية. استضاف قياديات بارزات في منتدى المرأة العالمي.
Today we are here to celebrate all that women are achieving in economies throughout North Africa and the Middle East. We are incredibly grateful to be joined by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed. Your presence here means so much.
لكن الشيخ كان يسعى لإعادة طفليه مع هيا إلى دبي، ورفع عليها قضية في المحاكم الإنجليزية. الآن تفحص المحكمة مدى أهليته باعتباره أباً مناسباً، بما في ذلك معاملته لبقية أبنائه.
Extraordinary and damning allegations of abduction and intimidation.
حكم القاضي بأن الشيخ اختطف ابنته لطيفة وحبسها، ولم يكن صريحاً أو صادقاً أمام المحكمة.
It was a big breakthrough for all of us. I thought that would have been a great evidence for the UN to make a public statement, to pressurize the UAE more, or something that could have quickly led to her release. But Latifa was still held a prisoner. It's almost like, what do we need to get her free? It's sad. It's very, very sad.
تابعت لطيفة الأخبار من سجنها على أمل أن يتغير وضعها، لكن الحكم ضد والدها لم يحقق شيئاً.
I'm really reaching a point now where I'm just getting so tired of everything. It's like a circus. I don't want to be a hostage in this jail villa. I just want to be free. I don't know what they're planning to do with me. I really don't know. So the situation is getting more desperate every day, and I'm just really, really tired of this now.
سجلت لطيفة على مدى أشهر عدداً من مقاطع الفيديو، وأرسلت العديد من الرسائل الإلكترونية لتينا ولديفيد وماركوس.
The phone meant a lot. It was a lifeline, and every day was a struggle for her. And you could hear that in her voice. I know she was tired. I know her health was not the best.
If you hadn't have heard from Latifa for a period of time, you would worry. And so you were always kind of living on tenterhooks. Then one day we'd pass some messages, and then it's not being received.
Initially, I thought that maybe she had problems with her phone. There was a problem with the charger, or perhaps the internet.
We realized something's happened. She'd gone. And she was not coming back.
رسائل لطيفة لم تعد تصل لأحد. لقد فقدوا جميعهم الاتصال بلطيفة.
I was hoping that she would just reappear. I didn't want to believe it, but finally that I did. I felt that there were so many things that I should have said. There were so many things that left me with sadness. Like, what if I don't get to speak to her again? We are extremely worried about her well-being. If we assume that she was caught with the phone, her conditions now are probably a lot worse.
Family is, supposed to be there to support you, to help you, to love you, to protect you, not to lock you up. For her, it was, I don't want to hurt anybody in my family. I'm not against my family. I don't want to be involved in the politics. I want to be out of the politics. She wanted a quiet, peaceful life. And that was really important to her.
Since a lot of time has passed, we've taken the decision to release some of this evidence. We haven't taken this decision lightly. There's been some sleepless nights thinking about this, but it's time to do something. I feel that she would want us to fight for her and not give up.
I continue to be very worried about Latifa. Things have moved on. I think it should be investigated.
This is a situation that's utterly intolerable. And, any decent father would end it and let his daughter go.
For me, it's simple. It's like, am I free or am I not free? I'm not free. So, okay, the world is going to know that I'm not free. Anybody who cares is going to know that I'm not free, and I'm not going to go along with their propaganda. It's just how I am.